See, we have seen that since taking over the office of the Prime Minister, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has been on all the Diwalis on the borders of the country, sending a clear-cut message that those who have sacrificed the crucial years with their families and are on the borders with the guns to ensure that the unity and the sovereignty of the country remains intact, they are the ones who the Prime Minister, the head of the country, stands with. And this is not only the message for those who troops on ground, but also for the adversaries that see the head of the country stands with the forces on the one of the biggest festival of the country, the festival of light. And this is also a message significance, because the significance of the Diwali is that the truth always wins over, and that is something the Prime Minister has always meant to convey, as being said by Abhishek Kapoor, our executive editor, that this also helps the Prime Minister in drafting the policies when it comes to the defense, because when he interacts with the troops on ground, he comes to know about the challenges they face and how to overcome those challenges, and what the Prime Minister gets from them is now incorporated in the policy of the defense. We have seen how significant improvement we have seen in the defense sector that has somewhat helped the troops on ground, be it the modernization of the weapon, the state-of-art weapons that have been procured by the Indian side, or the made in India products that have been given, the weapons that have been given to the troops on ground. That has seen a visible impact on ground when it comes to the guarding the borders. The Prime Minister of the country has now reached the Kargil, and Kargil is a place from where the Prime Minister is in the United Territory of Ladakh. So complete message not only to the Pakistan but also to the Chinese side. We have seen the expansionist policy of the China in past 2 years since the standoff of the Galwan has taken place, how the Chinese side is onto its expansionist policy, and on the other side the Pakistan, which is always into its mischiefs, trying to push in terrorists, trying to destabilize the country. So this visit of Prime Minister is going to be really very crucial here. We are being told that he will be interacting with the troops on ground, sweet exchange, and also the Prime Minister will be briefed by the senior commanders on ground of the Fire and Fury Corps of the Indian Army, and also we have seen how the Prime Minister of the country has always been on the borders of the country on the festival of Diwali, and this time the Kargil has been selected. We have seen that in the Kargil what has happened in the 1999, when taking the advantage of the winters, the Pakistan tried to do mischief by occupying the heights, but the way Indian side retaliated to it back then in 1999, that speaks of the legacy and the saga of the Indian Army, that how these brave hearts of the Indian Army, they are trained to carry out operations in the adverse of all conditions. So this is what seems to have been kept in mind when the Kargil has been selected. But very important is that this is a morale booster for those troops on ground, those who have families back their home on a very big day when it comes to Diwali. When we were on the border some couple of days back, when we spoke to the Jawans, what they said that we have a family here. We sometimes do miss our families back home, but this family that is here to guard the borders is our first family, and we will celebrate it here. So this gesture from the Prime Minister Narendra Modi is very important gesture, coming at a time on the Diwali when everyone feels that they should be with the elders of their home. Prime Minister, like the elder of the house, going to the troops on ground. See, this is going to have a long demand. See, one soldier who has been posted in the forward area, in the line of control, in the line of actual control, when meets the Prime Minister there, उनका मोराल जो है वो एक अलग लेवल पर पहुंच जाता है जब एक जवान देखता है कि प्रदेश के प्रधानमंत्री वहां पर आए थे। या फिर अगर आप बात करें प्रधानमंत्री अब कारगिल पहुंचे हैं, तो कारगिल में जो जवान इस वक्त सीमा पर तैनात होंगे, उन्हें अपने आप में फख्र महसूस हो रहा होगा कि देश का प्रधानमंत्री, देखिए एक जवान के लिए जो कि सरहद पर तैनात है, देश का प्रधानमंत्री अगर उससे मिलने आता है तो उससे बड़ी बात किसी भी जवान के लिए नहीं हो सकती, और सीना जो है वो गर्व से चौड़ा हो जाता है कि हम जो कि घर से कोसों दूर हैं, बर्फ की पहाड़ियों पे इस वक्त देश की सुरक्षा कर रहे हैं, हमारे बारे में भी सोचने के लिए। We also have
Major General SP Sinha joining us on the phone lines. Major Sinha, thank you for taking the time out and speaking to Republic. How do you see, the significant move of Prime Minister Modi, with the Jawans over there? In fact, we see him every year do this, but in terms of this time around, your first thoughts?
This is a great gesture on the part of Honorable Prime Minister of India, Mr. Narendra Modi, firstly. Secondly, with whom do you spend your festive time? With whom? Your family? So if the Prime Minister of India goes to the forward areas and spends time, during Diwali he spends time with the troops, that means he is giving a message to armed forces that armed forces are part of his family. He considers armed forces as his family. He is one of the members. Although he is the Prime Minister, he is one of the members of this great fraternity called armed forces. So this is a great message. There was a time when no operational freedom was given to Indian Army to return fire of Pakistan. Colonel Patania was sent to jail by Anthony, Defense Minister, for firing at Pakistan troops. And now operational freedom has been given. The Prime Minister spends time, every Diwali he spends time with the troops. This is a great message. Imagine the emotional trauma that the troops suffer. When the world today, the world is that on mobile, the wife from village can get in touch with you. And his wife rings up on mobile and says, the children are crying. They are saying, where is Papa? What do I say? How do I console them? And mobile, the children start crying. Can you imagine the emotional trauma that the troops, our Jawans, our officers suffer? But this void, Mr. Modi, Prime Minister, compensates by his physical presence and by his effort to spend time with the troops. It's a great thing. It is a morale booster. It sends many messages. Firstly, it sends a message to armed forces that the Prime Minister is with them. They need not worry on any account. Second, the message is sent to the enemies that when the Prime Minister of India supports armed forces, who can stop armed forces from teaching lesson to these enemies? So this is a great thing. In spite of such a busy schedule, if Prime Minister goes to forward area and spends time with the troops, I think it's a great thing. Every minute is busy for him. Every minute. He is looking after 130 crores population. We have such a vast border. We have such a vast coastline. The problems are immense. And still, he takes time out. This is a great gesture. I think it is commendable. The bhuto na bhavishyati, I think it has never happened in the past. And I hope it continues in the future. So I think it's a great move. And I really salute Honorable Prime Minister of India for showing such a magnanimous gesture. It is morale booster. It is a booster dose for armed forces. It will enable them to perform in an exemplary manner, which they have been doing in the past, but with a greater vigor, with greater josh, with greater elan, with greater enthusiasm. So I think this is a great thing.
Major Sinha, thank you for joining us on the broadcast. We appreciate you giving us your valuable time and your thoughts. Well, that, of course, was Major Sinha talking about the fact that Prime Minister Modi is in Kargil to be celebrating Diwali with Jawans. And we're getting in those visuals as well of Prime Minister celebrating Diwali in Kargil with Jawans. We'll, of course, continue to be tracking